Even though Centurions look a little stubby, imagine if they actually look like Primaris. Today I'm going to show you how to take the basic Reiver and turn it into a beefy badass Centurion that actually looks good on the tabletop. Let's go! In today's video, I'm showing you how to convert a Primaris Reiver into a proper looking Primaris Centurion. No more stubby boys, just pure beefcake. This is my actual first major kitbash project, and I'm following that awesome guide made by the talented YouTuber Offbeat Builds. Seriously, go show him some love if you haven't already. His work made this project possible and gave me the confidence to dive in. So let's get into it. Step 1. First, here's what you're going to need. Clippers, hobby knives, hand vice grips, files, super glue and plastic glue, a hobby saw, and trust me this will save your life, some thin and thick plastic rods, sorry I'm not sure exactly what size they are, just something sturdy, and optionally a Dremel with a grinding bit, but honestly clippers and a knife will work just fine. For the base model, I'm going to be using an easy to build Primaris Reiver. Really, all I want is everything below the belt. So grab your hobby saw, cut the torso off clean, and trim down any extra belt details. That'll make adding the armor panels later way easier. Now for the real work. Remove the legs from the sprue, cut just above the knee and just above the foot. We don't need the thigh or crotch pieces. Use your hobby saw, go slow and be careful. For the foot piece, when you're cleaning this up, there is a small notch at where the piston connects. Try and keep that intact at the back of the foot. For the knee pads, I just use a Dremel to grind away the extra plastic from the knee pads. If you don't have one, just carefully carve it out with your knife and constantly check how it fits on the Reiver's knees. Now gluing on the foot pads onto the Reiver's feet. Just a quick tip, make sure the little protruding plate where the piston connects is on the outside of the leg. Line up the pads with the heel, you'll probably have a little toe overhang, just clip those off clean. Now for the feet of the Centurions. Cut the feet from the sprue and clean them up. Snip off the little ball joint key, we don't need it. Then just glue the feet onto the foot pad ball joints. Time to armor up. Remove the armor pieces from the sprue. Once you've done that, use a sharp hobby knife to cut along the seam between the shin armor and the thigh armor. Luckily, there's already a detailed line you can follow. Be careful when doing this so you don't cut your own hands. Now for the fiddly bit. You're going to line up the shin armor with the knee pad. As long as the knee pad is slightly overlapped with the shin, you're golden. To make sure that the shin armor connects as close to the leg as possible, I'm going to be cutting down the toes. These are little bits that are overhanging from when you glued on the feet plate. Adjust the thigh armor based on the Reiver's pose. Don't stress too much about the mid area, as we're adding thigh and crotch armor plates later on to cover it all up. Now for the pistons. Since we changed the length of the legs, the pistons won't fit anymore. So here's how I went about fixing that. I cut the piston heads from the top and the bottom, separating it into 3 pieces. I'm going to start with gluing the bottom and the middle piston heads to the appropriate plates on the leg. Now for the piston rod, I'm going to be using my thin rod. I'm going to just give it a rough measure on the model and then adjust accordingly once I've cut it and glued it in place. Just a tip for cutting these rods, use a rolling motion with your knife to do a clean cut. Now for the top piston. We're going to glue on the butt plate first, as this has the attachment point for the piston. Once you've glued that on, you're going to then use the same method as you did with the bottom pistons, using the rod, cutting it up, and gluing it into place. Adjust accordingly. Then repeat this on the other side. The upper body, the rest of the torsos and arms. Build them up just like the instruction shows. Now, our second last thing we're gonna do to convert this model is extend the torso. To add height to the torso and match the proportions, cut a 5mm piece of thick plastic rod. Adjust it until the Centurion's height look balanced. I am comparing to the other two models I made earlier. Don't worry if this looks rough, the decorative crotch piece and thigh armor will hide everything. Now for the weapons. I used the standard heavy bolter build from the Centurion kit. Nice and chunky, perfect for the finishing look. Now for the final adjustment, the head. Cut a small piece of thin rod, glue it onto the neck socket of the head, then dry fit it onto the body, adjust accordingly. You can adjust the height and the head tilt until it looks right to you. Then you're done. And there you have it, a true Primaris Centurion ready to stomp across the battlefield in style. If you enjoyed this guide, smash that like button, subscribe for more hobby content, and drop a comment below. Thank you for watching. Stay awesome and keep kitbashing.